Hello everybody, Happy New Year. My name is Ginell Cooper and today we are going to do some corner to corner crochet, which is something that this is a new thing for me. I asked my Facebook group what they would like to see us do in the new year, and some of the ideas that they put out there were corner to corner crochet as well as expanding on Tunisian crochet, which sounds like a lot of fun to me. So I had never done corner to corner before, so I asked them if they were okay with being taught by somebody who didn't know what she was doing, and they were all okay with that. So we're gonna learn it together. So what I did was I did this one first. This is the one you're going to watch me do on camera, and I figure if I can make something this pretty with corner to corner crochet my first time, then you can too. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a heart this time, but I will actually post in the description some other charts of things that you can do. There's a clover, I found a ghost. There's all kinds of fun things that you can do on your dishcloth for this one or in the future. So go ahead and pick yourself, I would say 3 colors. I did this, I am pretty much out of blue almost. So I'm going to switch it up and do the blue that I did on the outside, I'm gonna do on the inside. And then I'm gonna still do the red on the heart. You're gonna want to split this because at some point you actually do work with blue here, red here, and blue here, because we're working this way. So you're gonna want like a little extra section of them. So if you wanna like make your cotton yarn into separate balls, that's like the easy way to do it. There's all kinds of fancy ways, and if you look on the internet, you'll see that there's cute little clips that you can get and all that. But I think since we're just using with cotton yarn, we don't have to get too fancy because they're just small bunches anyway, right? We're gonna start in this corner right here. And this is just a border that I do at the end. So we're gonna start with the light blue. I'm gonna go ahead and use a H hook as recommended on the actual cotton yarn. And then the only other thing you need is, of course, a tapestry needle and scissors. And then this chart is what we're gonna go off of. And I'm actually going to put this chart in the top corner so you can follow along. One thing that I learned in doing this the wrong way the first time is that you do actually need to follow these arrows. So I was like, whatever, I'll just start my color change up here. And actually, when you do the color change, you're actually gonna be working from the bottom up that way, just because of the way the arrows fall. And the reason why is because when you start decreasing over here, you have to be going the right direction to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this. I'm gonna place it up in the top corner so that you can follow along as we go, and we'll go from there. Most patterns are gonna tell you to chain 6. I know myself, and I also did try chaining 6, and what ended up happening with me is that I had a really loose hole on these, and I wanted, these are little squares basically, right? And there's a hole, there's a gap on each side. When I chain 6, that gap is really large, so I actually want to keep that gap a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna chain 5. Here's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to double crochet into that third one right in the middle one. And then double crochet in the other 2 stitches. So they're always groups of 3. Okay, so that is the first square right there, which is the one in the corner right here. I'm gonna chain 5 just because I know myself. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're a tight crocheter, do 6. That's what they tell you to do. It's not gonna matter either way because you're going to end up always doing the 3rd chain from the square. So you're gonna double crochet in that right there, just like we did before. And then the next 2. Okay, so now you're gonna find that chain 2, in my case, chain 3 if you're following the actual rules, and you're going to just go in that space right there. and then slip stitch to join, just like that. Then you're going to chain up 3, or in my case 2, and then do 3 DCs in this hole right here, which is made up of those chains, which is why for me it doesn't matter if it's chain 2 there or chain 3, because you're just still using the same hole. It just for me makes it not so gappy. Okay, so you have done the first row, which is right here, and then these 2 right here. Now we're gonna turn and we're gonna go, so you've gone this way, and now you're gonna go that way. So we're gonna go ahead and do our chain 5. Turn it, and then again, you're going to go ahead and double crochet in the 3rd chain from this square. So 1, 2, 3, right there. And then the next 2. This is increasing, but it's basically the basic corner to corner stitch. You don't start decreasing until you get to the point where you're kind of done and you're ready to just finish it off. So then come back over here, find that loop again, and you're going to see how those are the 3 double crochets from before, and then that's the chain up part. You're gonna go in that loop, you're gonna slip stitch to join, chain up 2, and then do both of those 3 double crochets into that gap. And then find the next gap over, right? There's your chains, and you're gonna slip stitch into that and do the same thing, chain up 2, and then double crochet 3 times into that gap. See how we are creating this perfect, what I love about corner to corner is how perfect this square is. So we're creating this little corner right here, and we've gone out this far. So 1, 2, 3. Then you're gonna go, this one's gonna be 4. So, and you're actually coming this direction, because you always start this way, this way, this way, and then, did I do that right? This way, this way, this way, and then this way. So yes, we are going this way. So chain up your 5 again. We're gonna do it one more time. Turn it, and you're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the square. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then again, find the chain up, which is right there, that gap, and you're going to just join it right there, like that. And then chain up 2, and do the same thing all the way across. You're gonna do 3 double crochets in that gap. That's what it looks like so far. Isn't that so, I just love them. I love them. I learned how to sew by quilting, and there's something about quilting that is just like so nice, because the square, like just those perfect little corners and edges are just so satisfying. So that is this space right here that we're working on. So to go ahead and continue on until you complete this row where you have 7 across right there. And then it's time to come back on the 8th row. We're gonna come back this way. So continue on until you get to the 8th row, and then we'll talk about adding different colors and working off of a chart. Okay guys, here we go. Things are about to get exciting, as if it wasn't already exciting. We are gonna go ahead and start doing the color change part in here. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. But first we wanna go ahead and we're at the 7th row. We're about to start the 8th row. So we just did, it's easy to tell because there's how many squares across is how many rows you've done, right? So we're gonna go ahead and chain 5, like usual, for our increase. And then go ahead and do your double crochet in those 3 stitches. What you want to do is you want to do 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the other color, and then one final one on the end back in the old color. So there's actually you're going to have 2 sets of yarn going in the main color, and then this will be in the middle. So I'm going to do my 2 squares. Okay, so there's your first 2 little squares, right? Going back across. So now on the 3rd square, because we're coming back this way, you're going to do, the 3rd square is going to be the red one. So there's a multiple different ways you can do this. If you're doing regular crochet, when you change color, you usually change it right there, right? But I have found by watching different techniques, but also by just doing it, that the best way to hide that color change so it's not as visible is to do it right here when you're pulling through to join it into that bottom section right there. And then you want to pull this one tight, and then just go ahead, leave that hanging, because we're gonna pick that back up when we come back that direction. So go ahead and do your regular chain up 2. And then you can go over the tail if you want to. I choose not to. I would rather do a nice clean weaving in at the end. You're not gonna change colors that many times, so it's not gonna matter. So just do your regular 3 double crochets, and pull these tight, and then you'll have a nice clean square right there, just like that. Okay, so then continue on for your 5 squares. So you're just going to want to just do what you were doing before. Chain 1. You're leaving that blue. Don't cut it. Just leave it the go, because when we come back, you're going to pick it back up again. Okay, so now we're going to change back to the other color, but we're not going to do it with the one we already started. We're going to pick up a different one. It'll just make life easier, trust me. And you will be moving these around a lot. That's why there are special clips that you can get to kind of keep them all together. But since these are such small pieces, I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, if you're doing like a mural type thing and you have multiple colors going at a time, which is completely possible, then obviously you might want to look at other options for how you're going to keep that yarn from getting all tangled. But so I'm going to go ahead and pull that through, and then leave my little tail and go ahead and do my chain up and finish my last square. Yep, on this corner. Just like that. Make sure these guys are tight, so it's a nice clean square right there. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do our chain of 5, and we're going to increase on this side. Turn it. And this is where you can start playing with your directions of your yarn. Make sure they're all going in the right direction so it's easier, they don't get all tangled. And then do your double crochet in the 3rd one. Okay, so on this one, referring to our chart, we want to go ahead and change back to the red so that it's going straight up right there. So now we've gone this way, and now we're going to come back this way on row 9. So it's 1 square of the main color, yes, 1 square of the main color, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares of the red, and then 1, 2, 3 squares back on the main color. That is the plan. So let's switch to red. We'll leave that blue one hanging, and we're just going to pick up the red where we left off. Grab the red that you left hanging, pull it through there, and also through there. So you're basically just doing a slip stitch to join, right? But you carried that yarn over a little bit. And then you're going to chain up 1. And then you're going to do your 3 double crochets, but you're going to go, not only are you going over that chain, but you're going to go over the carry over on that yarn that you did too, so that you hide it. Okay, so here we are. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do the last 3 in the main color. And I'm going to just let this one go down, and we're going to pull this one up. So we're going to go right into here to join it like we normally would. We're going to pull this stitch up here and through there. And then chain up 2 and do your double crochets, but do it over that pull and the carryover that we just did. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you play with the chart and do what, keep doing the heart, just following this chart as you go. So the next row is going to be this one where you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that time, and then 1, right? And then you're going to increase and then come down 2. Just keep following the chart. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of the 11th row. And I know it doesn't look straight. It will straighten itself out, I promise. It's going to be centered in there. And you can tell because you've got 5 stitches on this side, 1 in the middle, 5 stitches on this side. So the point of that heart is like definitely right in the center. Once we start decreasing here and finish up that way, you'll start to see how it's going to come together. So I'm going to show you how to decrease. Right now, basically where we're at is we just finished this row right here, and we're at this point. So we don't want to continue going this way anymore. We're going to start going this way now. And so in order to do that decrease, we're going to decrease on this side, but continue increasing on this side. So it's going to start to kind of go this way. Chain up 1, and then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So you're just kind of going up the side there, making that nice point right there. And then the next slip stitch will be in the actual hole as if you were connecting a square right there. And then you just chain up your 2 like normal, and then do your square right there. Just like that. So now you have a nice perfect square edge, and you can see that you're starting to go up this way now on that side. Okay, so we've gotten to the end of the top of this heart, and we're about to reach uncharted territory because we are gonna, instead of ending right there like the square tells us to, we're actually gonna continue onward on this side. But we are going to decrease on this side. So increase on this side, decrease on this side is how we're gonna do it in order to make it a nice long kitchen cloth. So right here, even though the chart says to just do 1 in blue, I am gonna do 3 actually. Well, I'm gonna do 2. So, and this one's a little odd, the way the string is down here on the end. I just wanted to show you that you just pull it up, carry it up over here. and you haven't done it wrong. So don't worry about second guessing yourself on that one. It's just and that yarn just gets hidden right in there. You don't even see it. Okay, so we're gonna do those 2 blocks. Okay, so since we're on this side and this is the long side, we're gonna continue to increase up on this side the whole way until we get to the top. 19, 20, 21 squares up. So you're just gonna keep doing that until this is that high. And then every single time I have to switch it. But you won't be doing the heart for long, so you actually won't be having to switch everything for very long. It's a very short period of time. Okay. I always set these up when I start the row, that way they don't get tangled going back and forth. I did want to show you that because we are working with uncharted territory, it's going to be a little bit harder to navigate where you are up here, because you just have to imagine it continuing straight up. So this one went up 1 more square on that side like we did. So we went up 1, and then now we're coming down 1, 2, 3 squares, and then we start right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red ones. So we got 1, 2, this one will be blue, and then we've got 5 red ones right here. So just takes a little bit of visualizing. You can even chart it out if that makes it feel better for you. So you can mark it off as you go. Okay, so we are about to complete this side. This is the side that we're decreasing on. So we're gonna go ahead and connect these 2 together. And so now I have modified a little bit on just the way the stitch looks. So I think that you're supposed to chain up 1 and then go do your chain stitches or your slip stitches back, but it creates this sort of like bump right there that I don't like. So I have omitted the chain 1 part of it, and we're going to just come back. Make sure your yarn's in the right place. We're just gonna come back this way, and we're gonna go ahead and slip stitch through the first 2. And then on the 3rd one, just to make it uniform with the rest, we're gonna go into the hole right here that's created by those chains, slip stitch, and then do your chain 2, and then your 3 across like normal. And then just head back the other way. And what you're creating is this perfect little square on this side. So now you're going up this way, and you're continuing up this way on this side too. So keep continuing on, and I might meet you right in the center of the heart because things get kind of weird right there. And then we'll just keep going until we get to the top. Okay, so we are actually at the inside point of the heart right here. We're actually going this direction and heading up this way. We're gonna switch to the main color and continue onward, but it's going to feel a little weird because the yarn for your main color is like way over here, and you have to connect it right here. So I just wanna show you how to do that. So what you're gonna do essentially is you're going to create enough yarn that you are going to stitch over the top of all the way over. So you're carrying that yarn, but you're kind of planning ahead and pulling it this way. So what you wanna do is you wanna have enough yarn so that it doesn't pull it tight as you're carrying over. So you just kind of like space it out like that. And then you go ahead and pull it in just like you normally would. Don't pull it too tight. And then you want to slip through this one so it connects. You do want to pull that one tight. And then go ahead and chain up like you normally would. Now see how that's kind of tight right there? I kind of want to loosen that up so that it doesn't like buckle, you know? So chain up like you normally would, and then you want to go ahead and when you do your double crochets across there, you just want to make sure that you're going over the top of that bar and over the top of the yarn too. and then it'll be hidden underneath. Just like that, and then you just kind of continue doing that, and it'll get, I know it feels weird because there's a piece of yarn right there, but you won't even be able to see it. It'll just get hidden in there. Okay, just like that. Make sure that your red is nice and tight there, so it's a nice, easy, good square looking square. And then just continue onward till you get to the top, and make sure you increase coming back down, but you decrease on this side. Keep doing that, and then until this part of the heart is done. And then when you're done with that, it'll just be blue all the way, right, until you get to the top. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay guys, so we have reached the end of the 22nd row. So I know I said 21 rows earlier, and even when I said it, I was like, that doesn't make sense because it's 11 rows across. It makes sense to me that I would probably double it, and that's what I did. So having recounted this, and also just the way that it worked out, I ended up being up here at the top for the 22nd row. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna show you how to start decreasing on this side. We've already started decreasing on this side. Now we're going to start decreasing on the top at the same time. So it's going to start to go, like this, and it's going to end really fast. It's funny how when you start decreasing on both sides, how quickly it finishes off. So we're almost done with the main part, and then we'll just do a quick little border, and then we'll be done. So decreasing on this side is the exact same way as decreasing on this side. So all you want to do is you want to go ahead and, oh, and also one thing I did want to show you, I'm going to show you how to weave in these ends so that they're super secure, because when I'm cutting these off, I finished off this heart, and when I cut it off, you'll see that this is kind of loose, like it could come out pretty easily. So I'm gonna just show you how I weave in my ends so that they don't come loose, especially with a kitchen cloth that you use a lot. You know, there's a lot of movement on it and it could work itself out. So I'll show you how to do that at the end. Okay, so just like before, I want to pull that kind of tight. Because this is a corner, I'm going to go ahead and do the chain up one. On the sides, I tend to not do that chain up one because I want it to be nice and smooth, but I actually want a pointy corner right there. So, and when we go around that corner, when we do our border, it's kind of nice to have that extra there. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to slip stitch into the first one and the second one. But when it comes to the third one, I'm going to slip stitch into the hole that is created by that chain right there, just so that it matches all the other ones. And then chain up 2, do your 3 double crochets, and then find that loop right there, and you want to slip stitch into it, and then do the same thing, chain up 2, and then 2 or 3 double crochets until you get to here. So now we are decreasing both on this side and this side, so you'll see it come together very quickly. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, it's time for the final square. This is so satisfying. We're going to decrease on this side, chain up 2, do your 3 double crochets, and then join it with a slip stitch, and then I am going to finish it so that it matches the other side. It actually ends on the corner. So we're going to slip stitch the first two. And I'm actually going to slip stitch into the chain on that last one just so it has a nice point to it. And then that's how much I had left. It came really close actually when I was doing this one, when I said I was playing chicken. I've never had one of those ones where you come like all the way to the end, but this is how much I had left when I was playing chicken on this other side over here. So that came close as well. So that'll go in the scrap yarn for maybe our scrappy corner to corner blanket in the future. So now I'm going to show you really quickly how I weave these ends in, just so that they're nice and secure. And this is really how I weave ends in all the time. But on this one, since like the base of the stitches is down here, I like to go back and work my way down there really quickly, just kind of so that I'm where those stitches are. Just going back through that double crochet. And then I just go through all of those base stitches. And then I skip over this one and go back through the way I came. That back and forth of that keeps it from coming undone. And if you want to be even more secure, do it again. Go back through underneath where you came before. Back and forth 3 times is probably plenty. So just do that with all of your ends, and then we'll do the border, and then we'll be done. Oh, this is gonna be tight. I don't mean tight in like awesome, I mean tight in like I'm not sure if I have enough yarn for this, so this should be interesting. But what I did with this one is I did a single crochet border around the outside first, so that when I did my double crochets, they were nice and spaced out. So that's what we're gonna attempt to do. Hopefully I have enough yarn for that. We'll see. So basically I'm just going to, you could pick it on the corner. I think I'm actually gonna start right here. Okay, so we're gonna do just a single crochet border all the way around, and it's basically just to kind of make it nice and neat and clean, so that when you do your double crochet border, all of your stitches are already worked out for you, and it's super easy. Okay, so you can tell it was kind of starting to buckle a little. I crochet very loosely, so my stitches tend to be kind of big. So I went back and I just put 2 stitches in each one of these, the little holes right here. The rest of them have 3. So just to kind of keep it laying flat. So now we're on the corner. I just want to show you really quickly on the corner. I just do 3 single crochets in the same hole. And then we're going to do that again when we do the double crochets, only we're going to do them in that middle piece, right? That middle stitch right there. So just continue around. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, that did not use as much yarn as I thought I would. So crisis averted. Time to finish this, and then we'll start on our double crochet border, which will be super easy. It's basically the exact same thing you just did, only with double crochets. But it'll go really fast and nice and smooth because you've already set out the stitches. So it'll just be like whoosh, right through there. Okay, so I'm just going to join right here. I'm going to leave the knot like on this side, and I'm basically just going to go over the top of this, and then I'll leave a little tail to go back the way I came so that it doesn't work itself out. And we'll just do a little chain up 2. And again, I'm not starting on the corner just because I just don't like to do them on the corner. I like to do my join like off to the side. I just feel like it gives it a cleaner finish, but you can do it, you can start wherever you are most happy. Oops. Okay, so just a basic double crochet border all the way around, and then on the corners you want to do 3 on the middle stitch, or if you prefer, you can do 1 double crochet and then a chain and then a double crochet, and that'll give you more of a point on the edges. I kind of like the rounded, just because they're washcloths, and that just makes me think of washcloths. But you can do what looks best to you, and I'll meet you at the end, and we'll be done. Well guys, there we go. I got my 2 new favorite dishcloths or kitchen cloths or whatever you want to call them. I love using them as a way to practice new things. So what do you want to do next? Corner to corner is actually really exciting, and there's a certain amount of, I don't know, it's very satisfying, all the little perfect squares. And if you get into bigger projects, you can actually do these graphgans that are like, just really ornate, beautiful pictures. But I would love to hear, what do you guys want to do next? I'm thinking about maybe a scrappy corner to corner blanket, or maybe I saw some cute corner to corner scarves that are really neat. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Be sure to join us on Ginell's Quarantine Crochet on Facebook. That's a great place for you to share pictures, because I would love to see your finished works. And I think that's about it. So I'll see you next time.